Evening, everybody, and welcome to Weeknights with Wonder Girls. I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Mabel. TGIF, everyone, and hope we have a great week and looking forward to the weekend.
If you have heard what we are talking earlier on, and also think the Prime Minister of New Zealand has done well in controlling the COVID-19 situation in New Zealand, type NZ in the comments to let us know. Please give us a like and share this live session. Keep the engagement up because tonight we have 2 giveaways for 2 persons with the highest engagement. So speaking about lucky winner, who is going to walk away with a prize from last week's broadcast? We would like to congratulate Miss Faustina Lim, who have won herself a bottle of honey and macadamia treatment from Kundal.
Congratulations, Faustina.
Is she on the line?
I haven't seen her yet.
Okay, congratulations, Faustina. Meanwhile, allow me to share a little bit about ourselves if you are new to Travel Wonder. Travel Wonder is a licensed online and offline travel company based in Singapore. We specialize in active holidays. So join us in the future if you are looking for cycling, hiking, or running holidays overseas. We are also good in bespoke travel. We can plan all sorts of vacations that you desire, such as romantic getaways, rest and relaxation trips, or even family fun trips according to your requirement. Our website is www.travel-wonder.com. Remember to check us out when you are ready to travel. Thank you very much to everyone who has been accompanying us for the past Friday evenings. If you have already won a prize, we will pass the chance to another highest engagement audience so that everybody has a chance to win something. We will put the winner back into the draw after a 2 weeks break after you have won. Nevertheless, please keep your comments and questions flowing in regardless if you have won a prize or not. Continue to keep us busy, keep our presenter talking.
Indeed. This evening, we are happy to have 2 presenters. They are Miss Lau Pei Ling and Miss Teresa Goh from Tourism New Zealand. They will share more about this beautiful country that has more ships than people. Pei will be covering the presentation and Teresa will come online during the Q&A session. Before we bring Pei Ling online first, tell us what comes to mind when we talk about New Zealand. Is it the ship, the national parks, the scenery, Lord of the Rings, or the wine? Share with us in the comments.
Without further delay, please join us to welcome Pei Ling from Tourism New Zealand.
Hi.
Hello,
Hi,
Pei Ling.
Hi, kia ora.
Hello.
Kia ora.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Do we need to do the nose rub?
Yes. Kia ora. Yeah, thanks for having us tonight.
Good to have you too.
Yes, good to have you.
Yeah.
How has your day been so far, Pei Ling?
It's been long. Every day feels the same.
Okay, come,
Yeah.
let's have a look at who has already tuned in. We have
We have-
Hello,
Yes.
Sunny. Hi.
Hi, Karen. We have Jonathan, Sunho online, Esma, Junita, Desmond.
Uncle Lau, good evening.
Yes, hello. Faustina is here.
Oh, did she heard that she has won herself a prize?
Yes, Faustina will get in touch with you on your prize. We have Kevin also. Hi, Kevin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we have a lot of people. Some of them are our regular
Regular,
viewers.
good.
Yes. And we also see a lot of NZ coming in. So that means a lot of people actually agree that your Prime Minister did a very, very good job.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Very
Yeah, so to our viewers, please continue to give us many likes, comment, and share the broadcast. Remember, we have 2 giveaway from Tourism New Zealand. Mabel will share the details in a minute. If you have questions about New Zealand, feel free to put them in the comments and we will respond later during the Q&A session. Now I will take a back seat and enjoy the presentation. Over to you, Mabel.
All right, so earlier on, Cheryl was sharing about our website. Just to recap, our website is www.travel-wonder.com. Here, you'll be able to find all the active trips that we have. For our trips to New Zealand, you can find it under our website at www.travel-wonder.com. Search under destinations under New Zealand. Please subscribe to our mailing list if you have not done so. So on our mailing list, you will be able to receive all the updates from us, all our active trip updates and what we are doing at Travel Wonder. We send out a mailing list every Friday. Please follow our social media platform on Facebook and YouTube to see all the past trips, photos and videos that we have uploaded. So earlier on, we were sharing about the gifts that is the giveaway for this week. 2 viewers with the highest engagement gets to win this Mirage metal bottle courtesy of Tourism New Zealand. All right, so now let me pass the baton over to Pei Ling.
Okay. Hi. Let me introduce myself. So me and my colleague Teresa will be here in this session today to attend to some of your questions and to show you the beautiful country that we have in New Zealand. So just to give you guys some story, you know, when I first visited New Zealand, I'm really very impressed with how much the Maori culture is actually integrated into the daily lives of all the New Zealanders. You know, it's not just a tourism product where you see them perform and just from an outside point of view. Maori is an official language in New Zealand, very much part of the society. You get to interact with them regularly. They are very proud of their heritage. They value family connection. The people around them, they respect the environment, their land, their nature, their visitors, the place they are from. They have fascinating stories and custom to share. So I hope you get a chance to experience the Manang Kitanga, which the Maori word means hospitality. If you see that, if you can see on the screen, right? He aha te mia nui o te ao, he tagangta, he taganka, he taganka. This is so the basically is a question to say what is the most important thing in the world, and to them it is the people, the people, the people. So when you visit New Zealand, you can really feel the warmth of these people. So there are actually 3 official languages. Some fun facts. 3 official languages in New Zealand. I mean, obviously, first is English. Second is Maori. And can you guys kind of make a guess what would be the third official language in New Zealand? It is actually sign language. So in 2006, the Disability Issue Minister actually passed a bill to recognize New Zealand Sign Language as an official language. They wanted to promote and maintain the use of the sign language by making it official. So it is used by approximately 28,000 people in New Zealand, and it even includes signs that express concept from Maori culture. So New Zealand really embraced very rich cultural diversity in their country. So I believe you guys have heard this word before, Aotearoa. It is the Maori word for New Zealand. As with many Maori place name, right, the context from which the name derives from is very important. So according to the Maori, the first explorer, Kupe, and his wife were actually welcomed by a cloud hanging over the island when they first sighted the land. So, and that's where the name came from. It actually also means that it's been a long time since they see a cloud, and which indicates the land. So a little bit about New Zealand. There are 2 main islands. I'm sure you all know there's a North Island and the South Island. There is a tiny little island at the bottom of the country. It's called the Stewart Island, where you can access to it by boat or by plane. New Zealand has 5 million people, which is almost as many people as Singapore, but look at the amount of land they have. And out of the 5 million, 16% of them are Maori. If you look at the coastline, they have about 15,000 kilometers of coastline. Just to give you a sense of scales, right? In Singapore, we have 193 kilometers. And their highest mountain is Mount Cook, which is as high as Mount Rinjani. You know, for those avid climbers in this group, is as high as Mount Rinjani in Lombok, Indonesia. And as a comparison, our Bukit Timah Hill is 163 meters. So I'll talk a little bit about the two islands. Each island is very different. For first timer who has not been to New Zealand, of course we will recommend to just visit one island first, depending on how much time you have in New Zealand. But I'm very sure you won't visit New Zealand just once. Everybody falls in love with New Zealand. It's a love at first sight, and they will definitely go back there again. So, in the North Island, it is a warmer weather. It's more temperate. It's less extreme than the South Island. It is more populated, and as majority of the people in New Zealand live in Auckland, which has the highest population, followed by Wellington, which is also in the North Island, and then the third largest population is actually in Christchurch, which is the South Island. So at the same time, of course, it's also more cosmopolitan with Auckland and Wellington in there. Shorter driving times, so a lot of the attraction in the North Island are closer to each other. At the same time, the landscape is also flatter, which means the driving time is a little bit slower and smaller, and it's much easier to drive around in the North Island. North Island is also known for the geothermal and volcanic sceneries, which I can share with you more later. So going to South Island, South Island has a cooler climate. It is more dramatic with the landscape, less populated, and the cities are more dispersed further apart. So there you will find like Mount Cook, Mount Aspiring, you have glaciers, and the whole of the Southern Alps, right, runs almost the full length of the South Island. So it's hard to choose, to be honest. You definitely have to visit it more than once. So talking a little bit about the climate, so it has the river seasonality. We don't have white Christmas there. We only have hot summer Christmas in December all the way to February with 15 to 30 degrees. Of course, for summer, you have long days. The sun sets at about 9 to 10 p.m. You wear shorts and t-shirt during the day. But at night, still bring a light jumper. It can be windy, the temperature drops. And then we go into March, May, which is the autumn season. It is about 10 to 24 degrees. You have beautiful flourish colors. You wear long pants, long sleeve, and then a warmer jacket at night. So winter is pretty mild. It is between 7 to 20, which is quite nice. It's not as crazy as like minus 30 degree. But you do have shorter days. The sun sets at about 4 to 5 p.m. But well, the thing is you get to snowboard, you get to ski, you can do, you look at the image, you can do helicopter landing as well. So, different season, you always have different activities to do, right? Different food to eat, different festivals going on. And then finally, spring, which is from September to November, is the flower seasons. You will see blooming. With spring, it always brings weather of all types, right? You can expect anything from cold to frosty to clear days to sunny and hot. So the best way to dress for this season is really to layer up, bring different layer of jackets and cardigans, just to keep yourself warm when the wind blows. So, like I said, right, there are different things to do for different seasons, different food, different clothes to wear, different festivals. And New Zealand do have a reputation for having the weather changing unpredictably. So be always prepared for sudden changes in temperature, and especially when you're going hiking or doing a lot of outdoors activities, you must be prepared. So in the next part, I'm going, New Zealand is such a big country that's like everywhere is amazing and beautiful. But I'm just going to focus on four areas, the more popular area in this session. So Auckland, I'm sure you all know Auckland. It is called the City of Sail. And of course, there's a reason to being nicknamed the City of Sails. They are actually they have two major harbors surrounded by so much water, and the weather boosts the highest number of boat ownership per capita. So in Auckland City itself, they have like 135,000 vessels being registered by the residents. Sailing is actually a very weekly ritual for a lot of the locals, and the city also hosts international races like the America Cup. Auckland is also the home to the world's largest Polynesian population in the world. It has about 28% of Auckland, 1.3 million population being of the Pacific origins. And also, if you are not aware, Auckland is the home to over 50 volcanoes. So as you can imagine, the landscape is pretty stunning as well. It's not just a financial or business city. I mean, of course, you have your usual, skyscraper, you have your shopping, your food and wine, farmers market, but there is also easy access to the outdoors, to the nature, and even wildlife such as dolphin, whale watching as well. And the beach is the Piha beach, for example, on the bottom right corner is only an hour drive away, and all these activity can be done within a day. So don't think of it as just a city. There's definitely a way more to do. I'm quite a active traveler. When I go traveling, I always look at active things to do. So even when my first time in Auckland, I was like, okay, I want to do something active. So I wanted to go kayaking to this Rangitoto Island. So it's about an hour kayak from the harbor, the city harbor, to the island. And it is the largest and youngest volcano in New Zealand. And once you get there, you can do an hour of hike to the summit, where you can enjoy 360 view of the Auckland region. And what's best is when you pedal back, you actually can do an evening pedal under the stars towards the lights of the city in the distance. So I think this is something for you guys who love to be active. It is probably an interesting activity to do in a city like Auckland. Well, if you want to just stay within the city, there are also activities that can, make your heart drop, adrenaline rush. There is this sky tower in the city, similar to, what Macau has, where you can do a jump or you can do a walk. It is about 192 meters high as Marina Bay Sands, just to give you a gauge, where you can enjoy the 360 view of the city. So this is the expectation, right? And this is me standing on top of the rim, and this is kind of like the photo that you want from going to such great heights. But the reality is, it is actually quite scary when you are, standing on the edge. And the experience, they make it very interesting. It's not just walking around. They will have little mini challenges for you to do. And you will grow with a group of people there, and everybody is in a line, secured to one another. They will ask you to do challenges like close your eyes and walk forward or walk backwards. They will ask you to lean backwards and lean forward. Actually, in my group here, I don't know any of them. They are strangers. One of the guys was so scared, like he was literally shaking, and he can't move. And because if one person doesn't move, the whole group cannot move, go forward. So we actually we walked about 1/4 around, and he got so scared that we actually had to walk back together with him so that he leave the group and we continue on with our journey around the tower. Definitely an unforgettable experience. And of course, I have to talk about the famous Hobbiton movie set in New Zealand. Whether or not you are a Lord of the Ring fans, this is still worth a visit. As an active traveler, I like hikes and wilderness. So at first I was like, oh, will this be too gimmicky? But it's not. When you are there, the guide will tell you many interesting fun facts about the movie, behind the scenes stories, how the set was built, and the reason why things are built this way. It was very interesting. And it's very accessible from Auckland, and it's also on the way to the next place that I wanted to go. It is, you start off your day at 8 a.m. You drive the coach will take you about 2 hours. You get there for about 2 hours kind of guided tour, and you lunch in the Green Dragon Inn for those who watch Lord of the Rings. You have a nice relaxing lunch there, and then you can continue on your way to WAITOMO. So this is definitely a magical experience for me. It is, I don't know if you guys have seen glowworms before. That was my first time to see the glowworms in the darkness. It is very magical, and it is literally how this photo looks like. They really glow in blue color, fluorescent like this. I was very lucky. I have a Maori guide. He's very knowledgeable, and he's a fantastic storyteller. So as we walk along, he was talking about the history, the legend, some of the features in the cave. And then at one point, we even stopped and he sang in the cave, and his voice echoed, and it was so mesmerizing. I thought to myself, wow, I am so lucky to be in this group where I have a guide as a great singer. So as we walk along, right, then I heard another beautiful voice from another group. So don't worry, I think the tour there, the guides, they are of very high standard and quality, and they really bring the experience, the experience, enriching experience. Just a little regret that for me, just because of the time constraint, I took the popular WAITOMO cave experience, which is basically walking, and then then you go on a boat and you go into to the cave to see the glowworms. There are actually two other options for the people who are seek excitement and thrills, right? I will definitely go back there to do this if I have the chance to do the blackwater rafting adventure. So there's a 3-hour one and there's a 5-hour one where you will abseil down to the cave. You will sit on a tube. Basically, you will float down the river inside the cave. You will do abseiling. You will do zip lining inside the caves itself, and also at the same time get to see the glowworm. So, for the adventurous people out there, I think this is definitely to do list, and it's also on my list when I go back there. Then after this whole tour activity, I stopped over in Rotorua. So Rotorua is the name actually means the second lake. So Roto is lake and Roa is two. So it's the second great lake in New Zealand. Over 1/3 of the population is Maori. So it is the highest proportion of any city in New Zealand with the Maori population. So with over 35 maraes. Maraes are traditional Maori homes. Rotorua is actually the best place to experience the Maori culture if you guys are into learning and understanding more about the culture. So as I mentioned, right, with such a strong Maori culture, that you can get to enjoy a hangi. A hangi is like a traditional meal which is cooked underground. So the food, they dig a hole in the ground and they put the food in there, and they cook it for a long time. And then during dinner time, of course, they'll bring it out. They will serve everyone in the restaurant. Alongside, you can watch some amazing performance and listen to them sing and perform and explain a bit about their culture as well. And not just that, right, in Te Puya, where you experience the Maori culture, you can get to walk around and see the natural geyser where they shoot up water for every hour. Rotorua also sits on the Pacific Rim of Fires, and has one of the world's most lively geothermal activity. So actually, when the moment you reach Rotorua, you will smell sulfur. That is quite strong. So you get accessible. It's very accessible to hot springs, the mud pool. You can go in there and relax the whole day, pamper yourself at the spa. Another thing I would like to talk about is many people think of Queenstown as the capital city of adventure, but actually in the North Island, Rotorua is the place to do such activities as well. You can do from luging to skydiving to mountain biking in near around Rotorua. So I want to kind of talk about this canopy zip lining. It's actually one of the highlights of my trip. You are really in the wilderness, and with 1,200 meters of zip line to do. So before the trip, I was really excited about it. I went for training in inverted comma in a Budok Reservoir. We have the forest adventure. It was a 300-meter zip, self-guided, so you need to clip and everything. But when we arrived in Rotorua and I did the canopy tour, the real deal, you can't even see the floor. I also wanted kind of to share with you the adventure that I did in Rotorua. So in the morning, I went to zipline, and literally you are really in the wilderness. There's nobody else except for your group. Even though it is busy in the sense that when you are getting ready with your harnesses and all that, there were a lot of groups around. But the moment you get into the forest, right, it is like your own forest, because it's so big that they disperse the group everywhere. Their treetop walk is literally a treetop walk. You won't see any high-rise building like in Singapore. You are in the middle. You get to walk around the rims. You get to do fun activity as well. They make it fun. So they have tandem zip line. So you and your friend could go down the zip line together, and you zip down and you see who arrived at the end first. Seriously, when I was there, I don't know why I was like the only one screaming into the forest, probably scaring away all the birds. Like the other people are excited and like just laughing. I was just so scared. Like even though I did like 6 zip line in total, I thought once I've done first, the second will be easier. But no, like every single one when I was standing at the platform, it was so scary. Like I was screaming, and the first step is always hard. And finally, when, in Singapore, there is always a plan B, there's an exit route. If you regret or you don't want to do, there's a staircase for you to walk down. But in New Zealand here, that there is only one way down, which is for you to abseil down. There isn't even like a emergency staircase that you can say, I'm too scared, I want to walk down. No, there is no turning back. You have to go down by abseiling. And the guide, they were very fun. I mean, of course, they were very safe. Like there were 3 guides in a group, one in the front, one at the back, and then the third one will make sure that everyone is properly clipped on as we walk. So they actually forced me to do the abseil upside down, which is also probably one of the best things I've done. So all this was in the morning, like about 3 hours, and it was really a morning of adrenaline rush and screaming. And have a quick lunch, and then and I went to do whitewater rafting. So it was quite an adrenaline packed day. Just nearby, there is a grade 5 Kaituna River with a 7 meters drop. Also very exciting. I was so scared when I asked to sit at the furthest end to get with the guide, nearest to the guide. So when we went down, unfortunately, our boat flipped, and everyone went under the raft. So it was quite scary. But of course, before that, they were already pre-warned us, if this happened, what you should do, and try to stay calm. So you can see there's another safety guy who is always with us. So when the boat flips, we all went under, and we of course will know how to swim out. And I swam out, but I was like on the other side where the other passenger, I was the only one on the other side. So when the guy was trying to flip the boat back over, right, it almost hit me because he didn't realize that I was the only one on the other side. But luckily it didn't, and it was really fun. After everyone went through it, they make sure it's fun and safe. We climbed back into the boat and went and go further down the river. So after a day, adrenaline rush in a day, what's best way to end off such a packed day is with a mud spa. So there's Hell's Gate there. You can take a guided tour to walk around the geothermal reserve. There will be erupting waters. There's an active mud volcano, land corals. Or you can even just relax at the pool spa. There's also another Polynesian spa where it's open till 9 p.m. You can take a warm dip and then go and end your day with a nice sleep. So it's quite pretty exciting, even though it's just a few hours away from Auckland. This can be a good North Island trip if you don't have a lot of time. Then from there, I kind of drove myself to Lake Taupo. It's just an hour drive. It's very near. And can you imagine a lake that is as big as Singapore? So this whole lake is actually the same area as Singapore. Very beautiful little town. One of the highlights I had wanted to do is to do the Tongariro Alpine crossing. I think for those who are very active hikers or mountain climbers, I'm sure you all heard about this hike. It is named one of the greatest single day hikes. So you can do this in a day. It's about 19 kilometers. Can be do between 6 to 8 hours, of course, depending on your speed and how much you want to enjoy the trek. It is a point-to-point hike, meaning you have to you hike from point A, you go to point B, and you need to arrange a transport to get you back to your hotel. So Mabel and Cheryl can do that for you guys. So arrange a guided tour. And it's a variety of terrains. You will go through volcanic terrain. You have old lava fields. you even pass through a steaming volcano which just erupted 6 years ago. So it passes an active volcano, and as you can see in the image, you can see the blue lake. It is just stunning. So, but as always, right, when you go hiking, be prepared for unpredictable weather. Make sure you have all the elements. But of course, if you go with an operator, they will make sure everything is taken care of, the transport is taken care of, making sure the weather and the volcano activity is safe enough for y'all to go for this hike. So unfortunately for me, the period that I was there, the weather wasn't great, so I had to cancel the plan. So, but it's okay. There's always plenty of things to do around the town as well. There's this place called HUKA's Fall. It's only about 1.6 km away from the main city. So I walked there and I did this walk. It is super easy, super beautiful as well. It's around 5K one way, and then of course 10K back and forth. But the good thing is, it start off at a spa park. So basically, you can take a very leisure walk, and when you go back to the same spot, you can just chill inside, chill and relax in the kind of like the hot spring. And around this area, there's also many hikes and bike trails that you can explore around. And if you do want to see the power of this waterfall, you can even choose to do a jet boat ride or do a river cruise that brings you close to the falls. Next, so a fun question: do y'all know which is the capital city of New Zealand? You can type in your answers. Whether is it Auckland, is it Wellington, or is it Christchurch? I believe you guys are very familiar with these three cities. And the answer is Wellington. So Wellington is actually the capital city, not Auckland or not Christchurch. It is also known as the Windy City. If you can see the image, right, they even have this Wellington where the TON actually is being blown off because it is really, really very windy because of the location of the city. It is also called Bollywood, where Bollywood, like Bollywood, right? Hollywood, not Bollywood, very similar. There's a lot of great movie location you can go and visit. And it's also nicknamed Bollywood because of Lord of the Rings, and a lot of the Wellington-based special effects company are based there as well. In Wellington, you will be spoiled for choice with art galleries, museum, exhibition. There's also a lot of great parks you can do. You can even get on the cable car and run along the waterfront and check out also the botanical gardens. It is known for a very vibrant, creative culture, great food. For us Singaporean, great food, wine. They have a lot of craft beers, a lot of beer events, arts events. It's for me personally, I really like Wellington. It's a very charming city with a lot of like tuck away bars, small pockets of alleys and quirky cafes, restaurants, good coffee. Kind of like Melbourne, if you guys are familiar with Melbourne in Australia. There's also a place called Cuba Street where you can go for a quirky feel of this of the street. At the same time, you can also visit the museum is called TEKAPO, where they exhibit focuses on New Zealand history, Maori culture, as well as the natural wonder world of New Zealand. And not only that, right? Besides being a charming city, around the region, you can go to WAIRAPAPA to see sails. There's plenty of amazing landscape. If you go to WAIRAPAPA, it's only about 90 minutes drive away from the city. It is their own wine country, where they have some of New Zealand's best Pinot Noir. It has 20 plus wineries with great cafes, restaurants, and bars, and they are clustered close enough so you can actually do a cycle as well if you're sober to cycle from the wineries to wineries and visit the cellar doors. One thing which probably should be more known is that they are also have probably one of the best dark sky in the southern hemisphere. It is worth staying late up for because there's very low light pollution in WAIRAPAPA. So beautiful, right? So from Wellington, we can actually take a ferry and go to the South Island. So there's two ferry operators, and they can carry about like 1,000 people inside the ferry. It is only three and a half hours one way. It's not you get to enjoy the scenery along the way. I guess it's a different mode of traveling, right? Instead of flying to a city, you take the cruise, but you get to enjoy the view and you take your time. In the cruise, it's very comfortable. They even have like VIP rooms, they have private cabins, they have cafeteria and restaurants and stuff like that. And if you're lucky, you might get to see dolphins and penguins with a lot of the seabirds as well. Cool. But if you don't want to take a cruise, you can fly direct to Christchurch as well, from Singapore via SQ. Christchurch is known as the Garden City with very rich heritage. If you can see, it is the largest city in the South Island of New Zealand. It has a great combination of urban and heritage and culture. So if you go to the city center, right, it has cutting edge architecture along with some of the oldest building in New Zealand. So the city scene is pretty interesting. There is the Avon River, which intersects the city. You can take a boat, like a gondola ride through the river. It's very romantic. It's very beautiful. If you just want to slow down a little bit, Christchurch is really like the kind of like the gateway to the south, the start of the South Island. If you want to explore South Island. The city itself, we also have a farmers market open 7 days a week. You can support the local businesses by purchasing the fresh organic, lots of freshly baked goods and coffee and stuff like that. 45 minutes away, you also have wineries. Wineries. So even the surrounding Canterbury region, right? You have amazing landscape, picturesque towns. You have escape to the Hanman Springs for a thermal soak, or you can go north to the Kaikoura to experience the wildlife, dolphins, whale watching. So everything New Zealand has to offer can be found there as well. So from there, from Christchurch, we drove about 3 hours from Christchurch, and if you check out Instagram, right, and you check out the hashtag Lake TEKAPO, you will see so many beautiful pictures of the lake, and the Church of the Good Shepherd is also located there. It is built in 1935 as a memorial church to commemorate the early settlers in New Zealand. So you can see, if you have a chance, go to the handle Lake TEKAPO. You check out. It's really very beautiful. And drive further down for another 20 minutes, right? You will reach Lake Pukaki. The river, not the river, the lake is really blue. Like this, I guess it has no filter. It's turquoise. I took this photo. Where the ducks are in a nearby salmon farm, and that is literally the color of the water. And you can't tell the difference from the sky to the lake. If not for the clouds, it's all merged into one. They are so blue. It's really amazing. And of course, stargazing. That is one of the most popular spot to do in New Zealand. In the South Island is in TEKAPO. Very beautiful, magical experience. It is a must do if you are in that region. Queenstown. So I'm sure most of y'all know about Queenstown, and y'all know it as the adventure playground of New Zealand. I guess I don't have to say much. There's plenty of adventure stuff to do. You can do skydive, bungee jump, luge, jet boat, 4-wheel drive, hiking, biking. If you are an adrenaline junkie, I think this is the place to go in the South Island. I went to do this nomad safari, which is also really one of the highlights. So many highlights in my trip. Basically, you get on a 4-wheel drive, you go up and down the rolling hills, you go across the river on the 4-wheel drive, you stop for breathtaking views. We also have a Maori guide who was our driver, and he really told us a lot of stories about the land. Introduced us about the filming spots of Lord of the Rings. Look at the view itself is already like mesmerizing, right? what about an hour and about 2 hours away from Queenstown, there's also this great hike that you can do. It's called Royce Peak Trek. It is 16 kilometers, about 5 to 6 hours. And again, you look at the spectacular view. You can enjoy from the ridge line. You can see the Lake Wanaka from there. The surrounding peaks includes Mount Aspiring. It's definitely worth a hike when you're there. So another place I'm sure you all also heard of is Milford Sound. And Milford Sound is really one of the most pristine place I've ever been. Like I'm so impressed that the New Zealanders, the people there are really take care and take pride in their environment. There is, even though there is average of 182 days of rain there, like even when it rains, it's beautiful. And especially when it rains, right? The waterfall is even more fantastic with the large volume of water. So what you can do there, you can do a day cruise. You can even do an overnight one to experience Milford Sound. I would say an overnight one would be great. Imagine staying overnight and that is really very, very quiet at night. You really only hear the wildlife. You hear the birds, you hear the waterfall, there's nothing else. It's very peaceful. I mean, but of course, if you want to be active, you can also head up for kayaking, or go trekking. I'm sure you all heard of the Milford Trek as well in this region. So I just also want to share with you guys, if you go to newzealand.com, we have a lot of great information there. You can research more about the places you'd like to go, and you can share with Mabel or Cheryl like which are the places you want to go, and then they can plan a trip for you. And I understand from them that you guys are very active. You love cycling, can go mountain hiking, mountain biking, and also hiking. So if you go to the website, you go to the things to do, and you go to here, the cycling and mountain biking, you can actually download guides and read, and we have maps there as well to kind of show you which region, how far they are. You can kind of find out which area you want to explore, and then talk to the Wonder Girls on your trip, whether you want to do North Island, South Island, and then they can plan an active holiday for you guys. Lastly, just want to share, this is our social platform. You can go there, look at the amazing pictures, dream about our trip when we are all able to travel again. I'm sure everyone is having cabin fever now, and I hope that when the gate open, or when the travel border reopen, New Zealand will be the first place that everyone wants to go after seeing all these beautiful pictures. Kapai. So Kapai is basically good. Kia ora, thank you everyone. I hope you all are dying to go to New Zealand now once the border opens.
Thank you so much, Pei Ling. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
And for our Q&A, we are bringing on Teresa from Tourism New Zealand to come on board.
Hello,
Welcome,
everyone.
Teresa.
Hi.
Hello.
I hope everybody enjoys
Hi.
Pei Ling's presentation and
Yeah,
wants
it
to
was
goes to New Zealand now.
Pei Ling got our audience.
There's
Yes,
so
very
many
excited.
comments and
Yes, I
questions.
was looking. Oh my God, everybody wants to go, huh? I'm so glad.
Yeah. So I think Pei Ling inspired a lot of people to want to go, and also brought back a lot of wonderful memories from our members. From what you can see, a lot of them has been before, and they were raving about their experience, also sharing that they really want to go back again.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
saying that people was like praising, missing New Zealand. That's good.
Okay. And to our viewers, you might have seen Teresa replying to your comments as well when you were posting questions and all that. I'd just like to pick up a few of the questions while Cheryl is telling the poll results to share with everybody. Okay. Teresa, there's Adeline is asking that for cycling, because New Zealand is so huge, right? So if we were to do cycling, right, wouldn't it take too long to reach the destination?
Okay. In terms of cycling in New Zealand itself, we have many options itself. Of course, we have half a day trip, like few hours to one full day. and then of course multi-days itself. So in New Zealand, the beauty is basically if you to cycle and then halfway through you actually realize that, oh God, I cannot cope anymore. And then it's like I cannot continue. It do happens on my trip itself, where actually I brought a group of travel agents, and then one they kind of it's like I cannot continue. So don't worry. If you actually bite halfway through and then you realize that you cannot continue, you just got to tell the guide that's with you, and then they will actually make arrangement. Of course, you cannot drop your your bike anywhere. They basically will tell you maybe you have to bike through a point. Basically, then you leave your bike there, and the vehicle will actually come and pick you up. And then you will be picked up and then to the meeting point where the group is going to end there to join up with the group itself. So rest assured, you do not need to cycle through the whole process if you cannot cope itself. So that's
thank you for the explanation. I mean, it's good to know that, you know, there are options if, let's say, we cannot continue the ride. You know, we don't need to force ourselves to the point of where we are uncomfortable already. So it's good to know that there's options for us, you know, to drop our bikes and then continue via other modes of transport. So speaking of cycling, right, I just have a couple of slides to share with everybody as well. You know, right now on the screen, what you see is actually our 6 wheels. 6 wheels in New Zealand. Cheryl shared the link, you know, in the comments. You can go and read about it. So we're actually sharing about how you can do car rental plus incorporate cycling together. And then some of the routes that we have is like the Tasman Great Taste Trail on the South Island, right? Yeah, so this Tasman Great Taste Trail is well known. I mean, this region is well known for the food. Teresa, will you be able to share more?
Tasman Trail itself is basically the trail that is in Marlborough Nelson region itself. If you look at the South Island map, basically they are the north part of the South Island itself. So basically you can actually it's a winery regions. So and the coastal. So basically you can start in the city and then go through the coasters, and then slowly you will actually wind into the vineyards itself, where you can actually go stop in visit the winery, do a bit of wine tasting, have some cafes, meals, you know, and then you continue riding itself. So the beauty about New Zealand is it's not just about, you know, cycling through, you know, mountains or, you know, national park itself, but basically you have the opportunity to actually stop in a vineyard to do some wine tasting or cheese platter tasting itself. And then after that, you continue your journey, continue to buy, and then maybe you can spot a cafe, and then you can stop to have a coffee or a piece of cake itself.
Okay,
And
sounds
then
good.
after that, you continue. So, you know, you actually, you know, as you bike, you lost some energy. And then when you break, you actually recuperate your energy by eating.
That's exactly how we do it on our trips, right?
Yeah, so this is how because you're on holiday itself, unless you are going for a competition, then basically you raft through the whole journey. But if you're on holiday, basically you pace out yourself and you actually do it more relaxed, where you know, in between, definitely people love to take photographs, so they would you know, stop to take some photograph, and especially because, you know, the whole place, maybe you own it to yourself, you know, there's even other people like thousands of people in the background that you have to wait maybe 2 hours. It doesn't happen when you're out of the national park in New Zealand. Basically you can be either your only group or you're the only person. That's the good thing.
Okay, so just to share a couple more pictures, you know, we have the Queenstown Ride too, which is really beautiful.
Oh, this is my favorite. I've done this trail itself. I've done twice, and I done it during the autumn itself. So the first time I did it was in Queenstown. So I started in so the operators actually brought me down to Arrowtown, and we start our bike journeys from Arrowtown. So of course we went to Arrowtown to roam around, to eat, you know, Always start with eating first, get energy. Then after that, we go on a bike, and then of course we go through the mountains range itself, and we actually came to we reached the winery, which is Gisborne Valley. So
Okay.
we have some wine tasting, and also the Gisborne Winery basically is quite unique. They have an underground wine cellar, so we actually had a visit. After that, we continued our riding itself, and we reached our next point, that is the Kawara bungee jump. So I actually have few people actually gone on a bungee jump itself.
Okay.
So they park their bikes, and then they just go and take the adventure. And then
Ah.
after the bungee itself, those people who go on a bungee, basically they don't have the energy to take the bike anymore. So they actually abandon their bicycle, and they told the operators that, okay, I need you to drive me back to Queenstown itself, because we stay in Queenstown. But of course, the rest of us, we basically ride all the way to this place called Lake Hayes
Okay.
itself, and then we end our journey at Lake Hayes, and the operator actually pick us up, and then we meet up with the rest of the people who actually done the bungee jump. It went back to town itself. So as I say, if you can't continue the rides itself, New Zealand, we have very high level of health and safety. So basically, they would not want to force you to do it if you are not willing to do it itself. So
Okay.
you just needs to be brave enough to tell the guide that, sorry, I can't do it. So
Yep.
just help me out itself. That would be
Okay.
actually good,
Yeah, that's
on that.
reasonable.
Yeah.
True.
Because sometimes Asian, we are very shy. We were like, I say, I better not allow, other people not can ride, I still cannot ride itself. So so if anytime, remember, in New Zealand, you're not comfortable, you speak up. They always make sure safety is your priorities itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Mm.
Safety is also a
Yeah.
priority for all of us here at Travel
Yes,
Wonder.
yes.
It's
You
the
know, we
number
all
one.
Asians are always need the fail, scared to lose face.
Yeah.
And you do it in autumn. I see this is the color. Definitely, this is the color scheme that as you actually bike through the trail itself, the color just bust you off. It's like you just want to stop every corner to keep taking photograph itself, because the color is so beautiful. Autumn, and
Then I think
that is one of the
we have
best.
to definitely have to take the alternative transport because not enough time to finish the route.
Exactly.
That's why people have multiple days itself. So they take a short. You can actually, like, this trail can split up into like 3 days to do it. So like, if of course you're short of time, you can do it within a day. But if you have, of course, more time, basically you can do over 3 days itself. So basically you can stay a night in Arrowtown, and then after that you continue, you stay at the Lake Hayes itself, and then you proceed to Queenstown, the city itself, to stay. So you actually spread, and then you buy it more slow pace, and again more photograph taking and enjoying the beautiful sceneries itself.
True that. Okay.
Yeah.
So just a couple more photos to share with everybody. This one is cause the colors of the water,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Irresistible.
So anybody know why the lake is blue color itself?
No,
Is it because of the mineral?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. When you actually goes near the water, actually it's a very ugly water. It's grayish color. Okay.
Oh.
It's grayish color. It's not nice. But then when the sun shines on it, and if you take photograph, it's basically turquoise blue itself, because this water actually flows down. They are glacial water.
Mm.
So when the glacial water is not beautiful at all. So but then because of this mineral in the water itself, when the sun shines, this is where you get all the turquoise blue color itself. So it has to be a sunny day to get this color. If it's a gloomy day, basically you can see the lake is milky grayish color itself.
Oh,
That is
okay.
the reason. Yeah, this is all glacial water.
Wow.
Mm.
We learned something new today. Then this one is I think it's the
This
famous,
is one
right?
of the most famous, which quite, I think it's international, famous route in terms of biking itself, because it actually covers the most scenic part of the South Island itself, where it covers the natural beauty, which then the mountains, the beautiful lakes, and you end in Pacific Ocean itself.
Wow, sounds good.
So all in all, I think this whole ride itself easily about 6 days,
Okay.
And if you talk about the kilometers, it'll be 290, about 300 kilometers to complete the whole journey itself.
Okay.
So basically, as you bike through itself, it's quite a, I would say, a great tool experience. If people doing biking, that's great too. So I don't think it's that hard itself.
Hmm.
Of course, you can do mountain bike, and you can also use electric bike to go on this
Okay.
journey itself.
E-bike.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
Good to
e-bike
know.
is how you call it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
really beautiful, because I see you can see the Mount Cook, and then you can see Pukaiki, TEKAPO, and then look Lake Oha, and then of course you goes up the top of the Omarama, and then you view down to the Mackenzie base itself, and then you continue to Omaro, and then this is where you end in the Omaro, which is the Pacific Ocean itself.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, beautiful. This is very well known. It's one of the international cycling trail that most of the tourists will actually, love to ride on this trail
Yeah,
itself.
it's like on their cycling bucket list. Have to do
Yeah,
it.
so it's definitely easy. So if anybody is interested to do cycling in New Zealand, I would say this is one of the priorities that you should actually go on this trail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Set. December 2021.
Yes.
Okay, I have a couple more questions also.
Yeah.
Cherise is asking, oh no, Irene is asking, right? Where for the Hobbit Town, do you have to book tickets in advance if you like to visit that?
Okay. Hobbiton is our number one attractions in New Zealand, and
Ah,
because they have every day they have a limited number of people that they can actually take. So
mm,
it's best wise that you actually pre-book your tours itself, because if you don't pre-book when you drive there, you may get disappointed because they can't accept you because they already fully booked for the day. So our advice is pre-book your Hobbiton visit itself if you
mm.
want. Mm.
Okay, good to know. And a lot of people are very curious about the Southern Lights. And I know Pei Ling has also helped to reply, and then you also have helped to reply. But I think we just share again, when is the best time to see the Southern Lights in New Zealand?
Okay, the Southern Lights is actually it is very well known in New Zealand, but we don't actually promote it. The reason why we don't promote it versus the Northern Light, where the Northern Light is you get a high chance, really to see it. But Southern Lights itself is very, it's more of your luck. So the good month, actually, I would say not only 1 month itself. I would say like July, August, September, and even the early part of October, there is always a high chance that you actually get to see the Southern Lights itself.
Ah,
But
okay.
because you see, the problem lies is a lot of people, Singaporeans won't really get to see the Southern unless you are really lucky. Problem because it's New Zealand, we're a touring destination. So basically, you see, if you are at Mount Cook on Tuesday, you can't be staying can't be staying Mount Cook for 7 days itself, because it tends to maybe the max is 2 nights. But during the 2 night stay, the Southern Light doesn't appear.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
you continue your journey to Queenstown, and then the Southern Lights still don't appear. Because that only you stay in this region, you will get to see the Southern Light. When the Southern Light appear,
Yeah.
basically a lot of places in South Island you will get to see. So regardless where you are, like for instance, you're at Mount Cook, you're at Wanaka, you're at Queenstown, you're at Dunedin, or you're in Stewart Island, if the Southern Light appears, basically all this area you can actually get to see. But because you see, the Southern Lights only appear in like morning 1-2 o'clock. This is where people are all sleeping.
Yeah.
Southern Light.
No, I have
And
no sleep. I won't be sleeping. I'm a late sleeper, so I'll get to see.
the problem is actually you're sleeping in town itself, and you need to actually go up the mountain to
Oh,
really catch the Southern Light. So that's why you see there's no operators actually sells a tour on Southern Light itself.
Exactly.
Unless you
Exactly.
do self-drive and you are really a light hunter. So basically those beautiful pictures that you see actually online are those people really are the light hunter, where they do actually they have a car. So they have apps to tell them that tonight there's a high chance to see the Southern Light. So basically they make effort. They actually drive up to like the Remarkables or the Coronet Peak itself up there, and they have all these cameras itself to get ready, and they shoot the southern light and get to see the southern lights itself. So
Mm.
so far there is no I would say normal tourists that
Yeah.
really moving really gets to see the southern lights itself. Even
Mm.
I myself, actually I there is a chance that actually I get to see the southern light. But you know what? I was in Wanaka. It was very cold that night, and then it was so cold that we all decided to stay in the apartment. But actually, the southern light is outside.
Ah,
We didn't
Oh.
know until the next day when we were in the breakfast room, and then there's this Westerner couple that actually say last night they saw the lights and they shot the lights and they show us the pictures. Then we're like, oh, we were actually in the room playing cards.
Oh dear.
Because it's so cold. It's like
Yeah.
you
So
so
you
cold,
see,
you won't want to go out, right?
yeah.
And so windy. But actually there's this beauty waiting for us outside.
Oh dear.
so
Sometimes
funny.
it very
For
depends
Tina,
on your luck itself lah, for
yeah, that's
Southern
true.
Lights itself.
Yeah, so we hope, Gerald, we have answered your questions.
Yes.
So, like Malco, any place at a high point is a good place or a higher chance to see it. But whether can you brave the cold to go out there at 1, 2 a.m. to see it, that's a separate story.
Yeah, and you need to really go to a dark area too. So, for instance, if you stay in Queenstown, of course, the area to see is the Mount Cook region because they are dark sky reserve area. So they are well known. They are UNESCO, protected itself. So it's dark sky area. So definitely, there's high chance to see the lights itself. And as you go further south, as I said, Dunedin, Stewart Island itself, you even get to see even more of it.
Mm.
So we have a question from Asma. She's asking if I can't drive, is it still easy to navigate around New Zealand?
Yes, definitely. Of course, South Drive has the benefit because you can stop and take beautiful photograph itself. But nevertheless, if you don't drive, like me, I got license, I don't drive. I take bus. It's easy to drive in New Zealand itself, but because in Singapore I don't drive. So basically, we have a public bus itself called the Intercity. So basically, it helps you to bring you from one city to another. It's of course, but in between you don't have the beauty. Like you see some beautiful spots, you want to stop. Basically, you don't have the chance. So, but then when you reach the city itself, you can book local tours to actually bring you around, travel around, or you can bike around too. Rent a bike and then cycle around. Because in New Zealand, basically, um, cycling is very common with the New Zealanders or the Kiwis itself because our ex Prime Minister John Key, he actually developed all these cycling roads, trails itself and roads. So they basically have, if you go to now, if you see go New Zealand, the road itself, they have what is it, a
Bike lanes.
section of the road
Mm.
is for cyclists one.
Yeah, bike lanes. Bike lanes just by the side of the road.
Yes, so it's all developed by our last Prime Minister John Key itself.
Okay.
Good.
So
Mm.
we have Uncle Lau here. He was saying that he fully recommend trekking in New Zealand, which actually reminds me because Uncle Lau has been our regular lah. He always go on Malaysia hikes with us
Mm.
and to Vietnam as well. So this comment made me want to show some photos.
Our hiking definitely is better compared to Asia. The only thing I don't know why I like it, there's no snake and no dangerous animals. Like you're not worried like, oh my god, there's some dangerous animal is coming out or there's a snake, that will freak me out. But in New Zealand, basically we don't have. Of course, we have the sand flies during the summer that you need to bring the spray itself. But other than that, I think New Zealand, I just enjoy hiking because the weather is beautiful, it's nice too. It's like so cooling, you
Yeah.
know. As we hike, we feel very hot itself. But
Yeah.
as we walk in New Zealand, I don't feel, I can feel the hot itself, but because of the cold weather, cooling weather, it actually, I don't get tired easily. So it's very, very nice to hike in New Zealand.
Yeah, so I have a couple more nice pictures to share with everybody. There's the Abel Tasman National Park. And then we have the Bay of Islands.
Islands.
Look at the water,
Oh, look at the view.
Yes.
Wish I'm sitting there.
And then
Nice
there's
view.
the Tongariro National Park, which I think Pei Ling was sharing earlier on.
This is a nice one. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's also a dinner. I saw wait one more picture. The lake how do you pronounce this? Waikaramoana.
This is Waikaramona.
Waikaramona. Okay.
Yeah.
So earlier on, there's also one inquiry from Athena. She's asking what about running?
Yes.
Oh, running.
Yes.
We
You
Yeah.
ask.
plenty. In New
Any
Zealand,
any
actually, New
races?
Zealanders, they are really outdoor people
Mm,
itself, and we have a lot of marathons in New Zealand. We have some very interesting one. One of the famous one is the Queenstown Marathon itself.
okay.
It's actually always in November, early November, where they runs and then it's always fully booked itself. But the
Mm,
other interesting one that actually I've registered to do it, but unfortunately because of this COVID itself, so I didn't get a chance to make down to New Zealand. Is this Vineyard half marathon run.
yeah.
It's very, very interesting itself. I've not done it, but my colleague has in Australia has done it, and she was sharing with me her experience. So basically, it runs around the Vineyard. You can run or you can walk. There's no stress and pressure itself. And then as you run itself, you can there will be like water station,
Yeah.
and some of the water station is basically wine.
Wow.
Yeah.
You drink
You
wine.
see this
I will
picture?
go.
They drink wine, you can stop and then you can take a glass of wine, start walking, drinking itself, then you just finish it, and then of course you hold your glass and then somebody will collect from you. And then of course they also have some snack station, you can also snack itself. So it's really a fun run around this vineyard itself. So it's in South Island and it's in Blenheim. So because there's
Okay.
a lot of wineries there, so that's where it's called the Vineyard Marathon.
Ah.
And it's always registration always wipe out very fast. So because they have limitation, so I think these runs can take about 800 people. So like when they start launch the registration itself, within a week,
Oh,
basically it would actually be taken.
snap up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Wow.
I actually waited, and then when it opened, basically, I was on wait list, but then they confirmed me itself. But then I
Wow.
didn't make
Oh,
it.
okay.
Really interesting. And then a lot of people dress up.
Yeah.
Aha.
Yeah, they really dress up. They dress in costume because I think they have one like best costume itself that you will win a prize. So you can
Yeah.
see the locals actually dress out and they just take it easy. So they have three categories. One is the race, one is like the walk and run, and the other one is the just walk only. So you can slowly walk and take the wine and drink
Yeah,
lah.
correct. Sounds
I
really
will not
yummy.
finish. I will not finish the half marathon, but I will make sure I visit every wine station.
Yeah, if you can't do the half marathon, there's this 12 kilometers one. So
No,
you
I will do it for the wine.
Yeah, don't worry. I saw on their website they mentioned the walking the
Mm.
record for the slowest walk is 5 hours for 21 km.
oh, the time is drinking wine lah.
Yeah,
Drunk already, you also don't know. Then you just walk
yeah.
and walk and walk.
Okay, we
Yeah.
have a new question
That's
in
the
from
fun part. You see, you're just sitting in the vineyard, look at the picture itself. You just, you walk halfway through, you just no stress to actually, you will complete it, but just enjoy first.
yeah, what he was sharing 5 year marathon, drink 2 glass, can't even walk after that.
You're wrong. The locals here, oh my God, that's water to them. To us,
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
that
true.
is like just water to them.
yeah.
Okay, we have a question from Cherise. She's asking, Teresa, in your opinion, right, what is the best hiking trail on the South Island?
The best, I mean, you're looking for challenging one or depends.
Probably, I think, yeah, maybe in terms of the
Average.
scenery, the overall experience.
Okay, if you don't have, you want to do just the few days one, I think Queenstown is quite a good one. If not, you can do the Mount Cook. Mount Cook one is they have the very challenging one. So if you can't do the challenging, you basically stay in Mount Cook, and then you can spread it out over like two days to do it. So they have the Tasman Valley and the Hookers Valley that you can actually trek. It's quite easy to do it, and I think it suits people of all fitness and ages itself. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And then Angela was sharing that, on the hike in New Zealand, you get to see many wild rabbits in the park. I think that
Rabbits, no, we hardly see itself.
I think we,
There's possum, but I don't know. There's dead possum on the road. Plenty of it. Yes, there's rabbits, but I think sometimes it's very hard to spot it. So if you do like evening walk, basically sometimes you get to see kiwi bird. Yeah,
that's
kiwi
nice.
bird you
That's
can only
nice.
see at night. So and
Okay.
if you really wants to go spots kiwi bird in the wilderness, Stewart Island would be the best place to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then Wyatt was asking about caravan. Let
Caravan,
me
yes.
try.
Yeah. Camper
Yeah.
van.
Can
Caravan.
yeah,
Why was asking
caravan.
me, can do caravan trips in the south, and is it safe with just a small group of people?
Small group of people, you mean they're sharing one camper van or what? Is she referring to? So definitely camper van there is many categories. So it takes up to 2 person, 4 person, and 6 person itself. But of course, at the if moving forward into the future trend itself, we're not sure what is the regulation, but before the COVID-19, so basically camper van configuration is 2 people, 4 people, and 6 people.
Mm.
And of course, I think there is convoy. So basically, they have like few camper vans that actually drive. They organize like small group itself. In New Zealand, we don't really encourage itself, but of course, people are comfortable. By all means, you can actually organize, because the reason why we don't actually encourage it because you actually blocks the road itself with like
I
maybe
see.
6 camper van, and then locals are not that happy. But of course, if you pace out properly yourself, that would be better, because I know like some travel agents organize this type of like what is it small group camper van.
Yes.
So basically, they have itinerary for the day. So what the advice for me to you is, if you want to go with a small group, you just pace it out. That means you have a final destination, so you all tell each other that by this time we just reached the destination, so in between you can go and visit whatever attraction, do whatever you want.
Mm.
We just meet back, so that actually you not congregate together and actually block the road itself.
Yeah.
So you can, and also everybody interests are different. So you
True.
may want to do
True.
bungee jump, you may not want to do, but you want to visit a winery. So you do not need to wait and waste time for each other. You can just go and do in between
Mm.
things that you like, and then meet at
Yeah.
the final point for the day.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a little bit like along the way, own time, own target lah. As long as like
Yes.
4 o'clock, everybody arrive at
Ye-
today's destination.
Yes, I think that should be the way if you want to do a group camper van itself.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. I think probably have one time for one last question. This
Mm.
question I picked up from the beginning. It's asked by Cherise. She's asking like, when can we fly into New Zealand without quarantine?
Yeah, I saw the question itself. Basically, Sherry, I don't have the answer. So because basically it's all depends on government, and also how fast can we actually this whole thing can actually get over it itself.
Mm,
So really, but then of course, if you see in the news itself, like Singapore PM is talking to New Zealand PM itself, conversation. So hopefully, with this regular conversation partnership itself, we
mm.
we hopefully can actually goes to New Zealand much earlier than we anticipate itself. I also want to go back to New Zealand. I've been staying at home. Get so hot. I miss my cooling temperature, my fresh air.
Yeah.
So hot in Singapore.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Shall we
for
look at
those,
the poll?
yes, okay, let's look at the poll results.
Okay, just very quickly, we asked 4 questions while Pei Ling is presenting. So the first question is, guess the population of New Zealand. It's unbelievable. 82% guess it right, 5 million. And then for the second question, which season would you like to visit New Zealand? And then we have half of the audience voted for autumn.
That is
Nice.
Mm.
nice. I personally
Yes.
like it. The color is very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no sandfly, right?
Yeah, no. Yeah, and you don't need to wear very thick itself. It's so beautiful. The The weather is more, I would say, stable.
Mm.
So really nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the best part, all your pictures does not require any Photoshop.
Yep.
The third question, which city is the capital of New Zealand? We have 67% of our viewers got it correct, Wellington. And then the last one is, if you have to do one experience, which one will you choose? 57 chose the jet boat shot over.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So that's all for the poll.
Okay, so for those our viewers who we didn't get to answer your questions, we will answer them later offline. Let me just go through a few more slides quickly. Just a recap again on all our trips for New Zealand. Where can you find it? You can find it on our website at www.travel-wonder.com. Search under Destination New Zealand. So two viewers with the highest engagement tonight wins this bottle, this Mirage Metal bottle, courtesy of Tourism New Zealand. Next week on Wednesday, for our midweek chatter with Wonder Girls, we have Miss Iris Tay from In a Nutshell Bakery, who will come and share about the inspiration of incorporating Chinese herbs into her baking.
Wow.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
Next,
very interesting.
yeah, next Friday night, same time, 9:30 p.m. on our Weeknights with Wonder Girls, we have Mr. O from Gyeonggi-do Tourism, who will be coming on board to share on unveiling the DMZ of South Korea. And just before we go off, we have some stocks on sale. We have our active arm sleeve, hiking socks, and cycling cap on sale at the moment. If you're interested, you can text in to us at +65 8714 3321. Okay, with that, thank you so much for attending. And let me bring Pei online. Hello.
Hi.
Okay,
Good
thank
to
you.
have you back again.
Yeah, it was good listening to the conversation, the Q&A. Everybody's very engaged. Very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we take a photo together? Everybody
Okay.
smile at the camera. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's it for tonight. Thank you everybody for joining us. Hope to
Thank you
see
for
you
staying
again.
with us.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you
night.
for
All right.
listening to
Thanks,
us.
everyone.
We hope to see you in New Zealand soon.
Yes, see you.